Are you a mouth breather?
Dude.
I just talked about it.
No, seriously though, are you a mouth breather? Because if you are, I don't want to watch the podcast anymore.
Dude,
Hey,
I can't not mouth breathe because my nose is blocked.
Yeah.
You know why my nose is blocked, Joel?
fake.
Because I suffer from... Let me try it again.
Sorry, what do you do again?
I don't know what I'm trying again. Because hay fever is real.
Yeah, maybe if you're a
It's
little
not.
bitch.
It's
that was
not.
my swear,
It's not
that was
real.
my comedic swear word for the podcast. I've already used it.
It's not.
Damn it.
It's not real. I tell you what is real. Allergic rhinitis. You know what that's a fancy way of saying for is?
Weakness.
Hay fever.
Oh, okay.
It means when it gets windy and all the pollen from all the flowers go through the air.
Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, is this a start, bro?
Yeah. I was recording that whole time. What's up, boys?
Wait, you actually...
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the thing. That
This is no
sucks.
longer serious podcast.
Seb just
What's
What's
exercised
first?
power.
Are we gonna do this? I mean, this is. Never mind. Continue.
This will have come out after we talked with Seb on the podcast about his acting. Ryan, can you stop disappearing off the screen?
That's me, Ryan. Stop leaning over. Sit up
Stop,
straight. Stop
sit
moving.
Up straight. This is. Do you know what this is?
Oh, hey,
this
guys.
just shows you when your teacher was like, "Sit up straight," and you didn't do it. This is what happens.
I remember when I was
Phased
in
out
year,
of existence.
I remember when I was in year 3, and
Yeah.
Miss Moncrief was like, "Stop swinging on your chair." I was like, "Okay, bro," and then I didn't, and then I fell back,
Yep.
slammed into like the glass window thing, didn't break it, and I was so embarrassed. And then literally 10 minutes later, I did the same thing. I was that kid and everyone thought I was doing it for the funny, but I actually wasn't. Stop it, Ryan.
Ryan,
Just-
please, for
I'm
everyone
trying to
who's
get
listening,
comfy.
Ryan
then-
leans off to one side and he disappears
I'm
off the green
leaning
screen.
In.
What? You're leaning out of the frame, bro. Like you're leaning out of this whole.
Ryan and Joel lean out. Wow. So you know how like the last podcast with Seb was really we talked a lot of meaningful things. It was fairly structured.
Relatively.
Yeah, this is like the dark evil sister of that first episode.
Dark evil sister.
We're no serious talk in this episode.
As soon as we start getting
It's
serious,
not allowed.
slap me. You know, only me though.
What?
Like if I reflect on my life at any
Just-
point,
Just like slap Ryan in the face. Just like Joel's like, yeah, man. When I was a kid, like I really struggled. Just slap Ryan in the face.
that's the great thing about being in person. You can hello.
Oh,
boys.
don't.
I didn't do it. For everyone listening, I didn't touch anybody. Ryan's touching my knee right now.
You can't prove it though.
Guys, I want to
It
start
really
this
doesn't even
podcast.
look like it. It looks like I'm touching your leg more than it looks like Ryan is touching my
Well,
leg.
I mean, they're both touching my leg now. Right now. I wish Seb was touching my leg. Anyway, so
That trick didn't
stop.
work.
I wore this Breaking Bad shirt last time because I wanted to talk about Breaking Bad, but then I realized it had nothing to do with the episode. So I was very sad
true.
for that point on.
This is true.
Did you guys know that Breaking Bad's a great show that everyone should watch if they haven't?
I still
Yeah.
haven't watched it.
seen it?
It's in the works for me to watch it.
It's in pre-production.
What a
to
topic.
to get to watch it.
Do you know what
Yeah,
that
man.
means? That means that yeah, we're not going to talk about this anymore because it's not really a discussion. It's just a Joel review.
I was wondering. I was like, I wonder what we are gonna.
I
didn't
thought when I
say
brought
it
up
to
Breaking
you.
Bad earlier, you were like,
was
"Oh,
like-
Breaking
I
Bad."
was like, yeah, Breaking. I've been told it's so good, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch that. That was like, I remember being in school, like in year 7, and we were both really into Walking Dead. And
AMC.
and you were like, man, I would much rather. You were like rationalizing it to me. You were like, I would much rather let my kid watch someone's guts getting ripped out than watching them like make drugs in a lab and sell them.
I think my reasoning was slightly more complicated than
It
that.
wasn't. That's what you said. You were like that.
As a 22-year-old now, I mean, Breaking
No,
Bad
your
is just more
opinions-
serious themes.
your-
It is actually like.
I think you were trying to rationalize yourself watching The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I think I was.
Yeah.
100%. No, 100%. I think I was trying to
Like-
justify it after. I don't think at that point I'd seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah, no, you hadn't.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
What,
So
that's what
I-
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I love how you're watching shows to clear whether or not kids can watch it now.
I just remember that part of I don't remember the context in which the conversation was taking place, but I remember that just little snippet of conversation.
You remember my just me passing on some wisdom.
Some wisdom. Like,
yeah,
look
wait.
after your kids.
We
Don't do drugs.
all three of us went to Lorax.
Yes, I wanted
Yeah.
to talk
Oh
about
my
this.
Yes.
Goodness gracious.
I
Seb.
hated the Lorax.
I'm
Yes,
pretty sure that's
the
not
hatred.
true. But so we were having a good conversation, and then Seb unplugged his microphone. So we're now
Joel
back.
unplugged the microphone by extension by not telling me.
The Blue Yeti
not-
has a bad port. Logitech, fix the Blue Yeti Nano, please.
I had no idea what you were going on about for a second there. I was like, is this some weird like haiku? The Blue Yeti.
No, seriously. The plug, it's a micro USB into the microphone. It's like a detachable cord. But the more times you like, I'm not going to go.
You know, in the Lorax when they open the bottles of fresh air and
I don't
it's
remember
like-
anything about that film.
it's like, and their cheeks are like, when they. Do you remember that?
Okay, let's try and remember the plot of the Lorax.
The Lorax.
Had something to do with trees.
There's no more
Trees.
trees left.
No more trees left.
No more
Yeah.
trees,
Yeah.
and the big corporate dude is selling fresh air to everyone in
Oh,
bottles.
yeah.
And
It concerns me you remember this plot.
no, because I remember watching videos on it afterwards.
Oh, no. Did you try to, like...
It was actually because I love the movie and I've watched it multiple times.
Check out
I'm,
our
like,
next
dying
episode
over
when we get
here.
a guest on with good taste in cinema.
So I just did a classic Joel and said something that I completely disagree with. Did you believe that? Yeah.
I feel called out, and I feel... It's like when Ryan called me out
Feel victimized.
2 episodes ago for, like... I feel like Joel has really good opinions, but sometimes he just,
just-
says things he doesn't believe just to
just-
get a reaction.
Yeah.
And I felt so attacked.
You just straight up caught red-handed, mate.
Okay, and let's just spoil the Lorax. How
It was
was
really
it
good.
resolved?
No idea. I've no idea.
Yeah,
how it was.
I think it was too traumatic
vaguely
for me.
remember machines cutting down like fairy floss trees.
True.
Vaguely. Oh no, and there's like one little baby seedling tree thing left, and then he goes to the weird dude in the weird house in the wilderness behind the big wall thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know how it goes from there, but I'm pretty sure they restore all the trees and stuff.
I scrubbed that movie from my memory. I don't remember any of that. Thank
I
goodness.
remember.
There's movies like that, right, where you try to delete it from your mind.
What's another Lorax movie? Not Lorax 2 or some crap, but like
Sorry,
You
like
mean
a
like
Lorax
Lorax
type
level.
movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lorax
Lorax
level,
level.
like where you watch it
Birdman.
and you're like,
Birdman, the film.
You know, I never watched Birdman when it
Birdman.
came out because Joel was like, "It is the worst. Don't watch it." And I was like, "Oh, it must be true." So I never watched it.
He's taken my opinion way too
And
seriously.
I was like, "Nah, just
Do you know what I
never."
said to Ryan the other day? I said, it's the worst movie of all time, so you'll probably like it. Because it's full art house. Like,
Yes,
it's
good.
full art house.
Keith,
Yeah, right.
please.
You'll also probably like Enemy.
Enemy.
because
Yeah.
that was directed by the guy who did
Oh.
Dune and Arrival, and
Why are you saying it like an American though?
He keeps saying
can we,
Dune.
can
because
we
I've watched too
actually-
many critic videos
Can
of
we,
it.
of Dune?
Of Dune.
So today we're gonna
Hold on, is that movie that like,
analyze
kind
the
of
movie
rips off
Dune.
Star Wars?
the movie. Yeah,
Anyways, the Lorax. Oh.
dude. I knew nothing about June. I'm gonna call it June just because I'm an Australian.
I'm going to spoil a movie for both
Don't.
of you right
Stop
now.
it.
I've already spoiled a movie for you. It's called Enemy. Spoilers
yeah.
if you're not
Yeah.
going to watch Enemy with Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
Why? But he's such a good
No,
actor.
but yeah, he's decent in it. It's not his fault that
Oh,
the
okay.
movie's
Well,
bad.
that's all right. Okay.
So I'm going to spoil Enemy right now. You're never going to watch it. It's a film about a man who's living he's a professor at a high school in America, right?
Right.
And he teaches like some boring subject. Like he's a real boring dude, lame dude. He's watching a movie at home. No joke. This is the plot of the film. He's watching a film and he sees himself in it. Ooh. Or what he thinks is him. Then he sees in the credits, it's a different dude. He's got what? Has he got a twin? Has he got a? And the movie takes him all over the city, interacting with his twin in his life, and then towards the end of the film, they're him. They're both him. They're both him.
So what's wrong with that?
That's not the bad bit about the film.
Oh,
like
okay.
that's okay, I guess. It's done. That's been done over and over. The bit right. What's actually happening is he is the other self. It's him cheating on his wife. It's him doing the things in the dark. It's him blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the film, he is getting more aggressive and he's becoming that other him, right?
Yeah.
And that all sounds like it could be good.
Yeah.
And then the money shot.
Like
the
Fight Club.
money shot. His wife leaves the room after a heated discussion. We're talking 30 seconds left in the film. He hears like something fall over and crash in the other room. He's like, oh my goodness, I'll go in and check on the wife. Walks into the room. She's gone. He looks up. In the corner of the room up there, giant spider. Roll credits.
What? That's awesome.
Beautiful.
Oh, really? I wanted to watch that.
No, you didn't. Shut up. This is the man who was talking to me just before about I have limited time. I'll only watch things that I like.
I do like it.
I looked up enemy movie. I'm curious about
There's
this.
spider imagery throughout it, but not giant freaking. His wife's a spider.
Yeah.
It's actually a
one of
motif.
the top questions is, what does the spider symbolize in the movie Enemy?
My interpretation, before you like give an objective thing,
Yeah.
it's a visual depiction of how he sees women. Because throughout the film, he goes to like strip club.
How does he
and he
see
sees a woman with a
himself?
spider head.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and it's like and then every now and then through the movie, it'll just cut to a city landscape and there's a giant spider moving through the city.
Huh.
It's like stupid. The movie sucks. Ryan will love it. Everyone else should not watch it at all.
Well, it says the spider is a representation of his mother, so close.
Yeah. No, but he's like, why
like,
his
it's kinda
representation
Jungian.
of his mother seeps into like his relationship with women.
Freudian. It's kind of
Yeah,
Freudian
yeah.
almost.
Yeah, and it could be good if you have never seen any other movie. It could be good.
Seb, I saw you laughing.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, man.
Did you say the movie is shit or you don't like the movie?
No, the movie's bad. Objectively
Oh,
bad.
shut up.
It's objectively bad.
Let's
If
see.
it-
Okay,
if
let's see the
there's
Rotten
a
Tomatoes.
symbol for something, does it make you feel the way it's supposed to make you feel?
No.
Why?
It makes me laugh when I think of the final scene in that film.
Yeah, but what about the whole film but without the end scene?
I mean, it's okay.
So,
Like, I'd give the movie like a 6 out of 10. It's not. It's just when you're talking about you're a human with limited time on the earth, I
Look.
would not spend 2 hours watching
Well, I'm
this
not
film.
going to watch it now. I know what happens in it. And I was probably never going to watch it. Maybe would have watched it one day because I had Jake Gyllenhaal because he's a legend. Have you
But
seen?
do you like scan his IMDb though?
Have you seen The Guilty?
I have seen The Guilty.
Is that his new one?
That's a
where
new one.
he's
Where
the
he's the-
911?
Yes.
No, I haven't. I skipped it.
It's
I
a
saw
good
it and
time.
skipped it.
No, it's a good time. Like
Yeah.
I did the same thing.
The trailer
also,
looks so cliche. Is
I
it good?
also skipped it. I was like, yeah, look, man, like, not today. And then there was one night, didn't know what to watch. Me and Emily, what to watch, I don't know. And then she was just like, let's watch The Guilty. I'm like, oh, okay. And then so we watched it, and it was unbelievable. It was crazy. I can't believe, like, I was talking to the director of the film that I was in, Jye, and he said that they filmed The Guilty in 11 days, which,
That's pretty good.
like, it makes sense because it's all essentially
It's a one location
in the
film.
in the one room, but still with everything that happens and the amount of imagery that you can get with phone calls, like the amount of stuff that you can see that it gives you, like you see everything and it's all in front of you, but it's just Jake Gyllenhaal on the screen. You can see everything else that's happening.
Does it do anything interesting with that like concept though? Because I've seen a 911 episode that is like the exact same story.
Oh, no, it's not.
Like the exact same story.
Well, I haven't seen 911.
But
or
I'm
that
sure
episode.
911 ripped that off of someone
see,
else.
Like, I was talking to Isaiah about it because he recently watched it. Was like, wow, it's the best.
That's exactly what I was like.
We are Venom.
Yeah, we were just chatting, and his character development throughout, like it's a very straightforward. I wouldn't say cliche. Like the story is straightforward. It's a not cookie cutter, but the character develops, and at the end, like it's a start, middle, and finish. But like it develops well. You find out crazy things, and it's like in the middle of the film, you're like, oh my goodness, that's like a whole nother level to this character that I never understood before. And you feel for the character as well. Like, I think that's what's really important is you're watching a film and you care about what happens. Like, obviously, that's pretty
Well, that's
important.
the danger of a cliche script, right? Because if it's like, if it's so like you've seen it before, why would I care?
Yeah.
But if you do something, one thing unique, that's what storytelling is. One little thing.
And I
different.
think like movies have gone in such a way that like I need to be so revolutionary that I'm going to lose the foundational like basics of storytelling, like in character development. Like I'm going to go so far with my crazy concepts that I'm going to lose like what actually needs to happen to make a story, like to like
a hero's journey, as we talked about.
A hero's journey. Yes.
I love that stuff. That's cool.
Oh, it's good. Yeah,
I feel like you haven't watched an episode of our podcast without someone muttering the words hero's journey
Hero's
at some point.
Hero's journey. Hero's journey.
Hero's journey.
Yeah.
What was your
Message from the
description
deep.
of Hero's Journey?
It's
Should we cover it again?
No. So yeah, Joseph Campbell.
There's actually, if you're interested, there's actually a really cool YouTube video up on the net, on the World Wide Web, about Helm's Deep being the perfect hero's journey.
Was that
it's like visually depicted?
Is that Nerd Rider?
Yeah, Nerd Riders.
Love that dude.
He actually even looks at like the color grade of the friggin' fight, and it shows like a linear, like, well, not linear because we're talking about hero's journey, but it's like real grey.
Yeah,
Gandalf shows
it's
up,
like,
light.
Yeah, it's like your typical sort of 3-act structure in there's a status quo, and then that's disrupted, and then at the end of Act 2, it seems like all hope is lost, and then that's the low point of the story, and then from there can only be up, and then the heroes save the day. And then sort of thing. Like I was like even in film school, you like pretty much I came to the conclusion that almost every single movie is the same story with a different skin on it. But that's what works. That's what
same structure.
Well, yeah, same structure, but like it's like when it comes down to the bare bones, like the same thing happens. Like there can be different twists and stuff, but it's just a different character in a different setting going through exactly the same thing, but just that goes through the exact same emotional journey. Just the specifics of what happens within their world, like and within like you can compare it to. The journey in Lord of the Rings, Frodo taking Ring to Mordor, and Marlin finding Nemo. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're so different, but when it comes to its core they're
structure.
the same.
I feel like it's like an analogy you can compare is like an operating system. You really can't do anything like new with an operating system.
Well, yeah, it's just
they're
like,
all the same thing with their own, as you say, skin. Like,
well, and I think it's like we'll just. Films like a lot of the majority of film, unless it's like art house, you need to have that structure. Like there's structuralists, and then there's other people or whatever. Like some people believe that structure is everything, and then other people believe that it's like the I can't even. It's uni, but I think
so long ago.
I think you can't have a film without structure. Like you need to build a film around that structure. Like I was saying before, if you don't have like if you don't care about what you need the character. Character is obviously important. And they need to go through something, and Hollywood's figured it out. Like to make people feel emotions for this thing, like to build that tension. Building that tension is all like. The most effective way for an audience to be like, oh no, yes, like to get that payoff at the end, they have to be at like a real low point, like just before the payoff. I feel like that's just the most effective way of making you feel excited when you're supposed to feel excited, and feel super upset when you're supposed to feel super upset.
Marvel movies,
like
great example. I think.
It's just everything.
But have movies like hit that? Like most movies today, we've got to a point where it's like there's enough money and there's enough smart people in the industry that they all like have pretty good structures. But why do a lot of movies suck?
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah.
Why don't we then? I'm not saying that these topics are connected. Have you guys seen Wonder Woman 1984?
Nope.
No, I
I
haven't.
haven't.
Have you seen
I saw the first
Yeah.
one.
No, they're not.
seen it.
Topics weren't related.
Let's just move on. Shotgun podcast. We're moving topics now.
Because I mean, like, I really didn't like it. If that doesn't come across in how I introduced the thing. But what you were saying about like when you're like, I was like, Enemy is objectively bad. I do believe that. But there's other films I watch, like what you guys enjoy. You guys both really liked Interstellar.
Yeah.
I objectively liked the film. I subjectively took nothing away from it.
Did you watch it in cinemas?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, see, like
Cinema doesn't create a vibe for me. I know it does for a lot of people.
True.
I do find that interesting though, because you say that you didn't take anything away from it, but I think like the comprehension of what's actually happened. I feel like the relationship between McConaughey's character and his daughter is what like really hit home for me. Maybe like some people, maybe him and his son would have hit home because the like it's a different dynamic or whatever. But just that, I mean, the whole movie can be set, and look, it's one scene that like really hit home. But when he's watching those videos of his the video that his daughter finally sends him, like after all these years, and it's like, yeah, look, you said, well, I can't remember exactly what she was saying, but it's like she hadn't sent one video, and then she finally does because it's her birthday or whatever it is, and he's sitting there like, I'm in space and I'm missing out on my daughter's life to try and save the planet, and it's just like, and well, the stakes are so high in that, like he's given up everything and like for everyone else, and I mean. That's a profound thing that I took away from the film. I guess.
McConaughey's performance.
He's like one of my favorite actors, dude.
Magnifique.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen him? Before I say, have you guys seen him in The Gentleman? Have you watched?
Yes.
Love The Gentleman.
The Gentleman's really good, objectively. Subjectively, like I'm obsessed with that film. But I guess the objective subjective thing is kind of why people like us are the worst, in that we'll pay the money to watch the thing or do the thing, but we'll then start a podcast and complain about those things.
You guys suck.
Even though we just gave money to you, pretty much.
Yeah, like even when I see a film that I don't like you know, Interstellar's kind of hard because like it's a very objectively good, so it's like hard to wrestle. But you'll find films where you clash, and it's like, why do you clash? It's the subjective element. It's like, did it hit home for you? And I'm someone that is very quickly to say, no, it didn't. It really didn't.
Yeah.
Well, what are some films that really hit home for you? Or just kind of like subjectively you were like, just
There we go.
top of your head.
Anything from like being 8 onwards until like 13. Anything I watched was because like
This is the best.
well, like I got shown like through that period like Jurassic Park, like Jaws, Lord of the Rings, original Star Wars, Indiana Jones,
And they are
like
top-notch
the best.
stuff. Yeah.
and then I got to watch other things throughout my life.
Yeah, and they're just not. They don't hit the mark as
But
well as
is that
those
because
films
that
did.
era was innovative when it was not a money machine before Disney existed?
Yeah.
I think that honestly,
Well,
I
Disney
think there's
existed.
too many. There's too much that goes in. There's too many moving pieces of a film to like put
That's
it down
the
to
one.
any one thing. I think there's multiple things that can have an impact. But I do, in saying that, I think if a film is money driven, like in some ways it can pay off. Like in some ways, maybe if the film is money driven, it's like, oh, we're making it for the audiences, so people go and see this. We're gonna make it epic. And so like, I mean, the classic example is like the sequels or whatever for Star Wars. It's like
Commercially, success.
and 100%, it's like made lots and lots of money or whatever. But it's at the end of the day, it's like, well, like what's more important? Like it's what's more important to the people that are making the film. But then like as what like people give the director of these films flack, but also a lot of directors are given the script And like, I don't know what the case was with Star Wars, but a lot of directors are given a script and then go and make it. They haven't written it themselves, and like, this is my, and that's what's that's what I love about Beat, who's right here, and Jye's film, because he's written it, and he, like, as he's writing it, he told me that he sort of locks himself away for, he has these ideas and these characters in his mind, and he locks himself away for like a couple of weeks or a week or so, and just watches films and writes, and that's it. Doesn't do anything else. Cool. He just locks himself away and just writes and writes and writes. Yeah, and that's his process. But as he's writing, he's in there and he's visualizing the way he wants to see it, like in visual, and it's his baby from the start. Like, a lot of directors can take and then make it their baby, which is fantastic. And there's been so many.
There's like the hitch in that of like, what's the probability you run with something that was bad and you make it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, like I said, there's so many moving pieces. There's production companies go, no, I don't want you to put this in there, and like, even though it could be the director's favorite part, like, because you got Tarantino with Reservoir Dogs, and he was having a chat to, I think I was listening to a podcast with him on Joe Rogan, and he was saying, I was chatting to Harvey Weinstein, and Harvey Weinstein said to him, you will be able, this is a movie everyone can watch. You've seen Reservoir Dogs?
I haven't
either.
But I'm not a Tarantino fan.
Okay, well, it's a fantastic film. Anyway, I
I
don't want to get into that. That opened up a whole nother can of worms right there. So we'll just stick to where I was going.
Don't worry. I'll put on his new film a bit later in the podcast.
Okay, fantastic.
Continue. Reservoir Dogs.
So there's whether you're going to watch it or not, there is a torture scene in it, right? And it's like a cult classic torture scene with a song behind it, and it's like one of the most iconic torture scenes of the history of all cinema. And Harvey Weinstein was like, if you take that out, this movie will make so much money. It will, like, because there would be so many people that will be able to come and watch it, like, from like PG-13 rather than like whatever. There'll be so many people that could come and watch it, and the film will be amazing. And Tarantino, that was when the director Tarantino kind of took a step above the production sort of company, and said, no, look, this is my film, and I want it the way that I want it. And then Tarantino was like, yeah, look, he was right. It wasn't like a crazy box office success, but it paved the way for the rest of his films to be made.
Is that before Pulp Fiction? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was his,
before.
I think it was his first own, like, film. That he was in it.
I have to interject. Your Reservoir Dogs makes me think of Breaking Bad. You would probably appreciate the Breaking Bad. Seriously, no. Breaking Bad takes Reservoir Dogs as inspiration. No joke.
Oh yeah.
True.
Well, Isn't there a shot in Reservoir Dogs where it's Mr. Pink and Mr. White?
I haven't seen it in a long time.
And it's like one's pointing the gun at the other guy on the floor. That shot they literally do, because Walter White, Jesse Pinkman are the characters in Breaking Bad.
That's mad. I didn't even know that.
Vince Gilligan loves Reservoir Dogs, so you get like heaps of references to that.
Then
and I haven't even seen it. And I'm
you
like,
should watch. You
should watch Breaking Bad, and I'll watch it.
Done.
You sit 40 hours, and I'll sit 2 hours. Okay.
I will do this. But
passion before money.
Yeah, well, and I feel like that's it. Like, if the concept and the story and the characters are strong, like if everything is aligned, then you can take it that next step. Like, the thing is, Tarantino's a genius, so not everyone's a genius. So maybe a director is like, hey, yeah, I want to do this my way, and it completely falls flat or something. I don't know. There's too many films out there.
We talked about one in the last episode. Like, J.J. Abrams does episode 7 of Star Wars.
Yeah.
He doesn't do 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's Rian Johnson takes over 8 and 9.
Did he do 9?
I think he does 9.
No,
I know he did 8.
I think J.J. Abrams produced 8 and 9. I think he gave up the directing for 8 and 9. I could be wrong. But it's funny how a series can fall apart after a decent first movie and then 2 abysmal movies. But it's interesting about that, like, passion. That's one thing I love about Breaking Bad and Vince Gilligan is he went, I want to tell a story people have seen before in their real lives about someone trying to do something for the right intentions.
Yeah.
And where does that take you? He's also someone who knows when the art's done. He ends the 5th season and goes, that's the end of the show. And all the fans are like, we want more Breaking Bad. And he's like, but the story's done. I've told the story.
And that's the best way to leave fans, I think.
Yeah.
Like, fans might be like, oh, we want more.
Yeah.
But that's the best.
And look, he kind of did give it to him. He did a Netflix movie, but it's very specific and it's very narrow and it does what it needs to do. But Ryan, what about you with what's a movie you would say is, I guess, more passion than structure? No, and not film structure. I mean like money moving structure.
Okay.
Like, do you know what sells? A female lead character. And that's cool if that makes sense to your story. But if it's the first meeting and that's what you came up with.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so much more just passionate about the actual film rather than like actually making it so
Don't make it about
remarkable.
Well, it's like when it comes down to it, it's the story that is like you got. I think it was Spielberg. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Spielberg that said, like when it came to special effects and stuff as well, that story comes first, right?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't serve the story, then if it does serve the story, even if the special effects aren't necessarily as good as they could be, and you need to choose, story comes first every time.
100%.
And I feel as though that, like, even with like the Star Wars and stuff, like the effects are but like those movies look so good. They are so epic and grand and fantastic, and it's like, yes, I love this, but then it's like, okay, now I'm used to what it looks like, and I'm used to the epic sounds and whatever.
Yeah.
So what's actually happening
That
right
actually
now?
reminds me of the more recent Assassin's Creed games.
I did
have you
not
played
play
them?
that.
No, I haven't played.
Okay.
I haven't played any
They're
of them.
fairly, they look amazing.
Yeah.
And the
But
soundtrack
why are
is
they
cool.
not good?
They're just
Try the
fairly.
new Star Wars. They have the best VFX of any Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Why are they bad?
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, because story didn't come first, I guess. I don't know.
It's funny you said about Spielberg because I think I've told this story on the podcast before about Jaws. That
Yes.
the Jaws,
With the
Bruce
shark.
the shark was going to be in it a lot more.
Yeah.
But Bruce couldn't float. So we get the iconic film today probably because some special effects guy didn't test the shark very well.
Yeah, I'm not sure what because I remember listening to that podcast, and I used to know like a lot because I watched it was either because I had the disc of Jaws at home and I watched the special features and stuff, so I actually knew a lot about, and they explained all about the shark and how it sunk and everything like that, but I watched it so long ago that I can't be like too sure on what maybe there were tests or maybe it was just
I'm not too sure on it
yeah.
either. But obviously
But,
it didn't pay out, except it did because it created one of the most like cult classic films. And look, if you go back and watch the shot where which still gives me shivers today, when Brody's like shelling and he doesn't know, he's like just shelling it into the water and the shark comes out from where he's looking and just kind of says hello, doesn't do anything.
Comes up and it goes back down.
Look, it doesn't look photoreal. Does
no.
it scare you and shiver down your spine?
100%,
Yes.
yeah, for sure. Especially like, I mean, like in this day and age, we're so used to everything looking so good, that like as an audience member watching it, like watching any film ever, you compare, and then so when you go and look back, you're like, oh, like that looks so bad. But like I was talking to you before in the car, Joel, like my uncle literally doesn't want to go into the beach because he watched Jaws in the cinema, and
True.
that's how much of an impact it had on him. He's like,
I know family members the same.
like,
Had the same
no,
experience.
my
I
mum.
was like, no, I'm not going in. Like, I don't shark.
And it's funny because I consider Jaws so scary, but if you guys here's a comparison point. If you guys watch The Shallows, the film which is actually really good.
Is it Blake Lively?
Yeah,
That's in it?
and she's amazing in it.
Yeah.
Talk about female lead. She's fantastic in that film.
Remind me
like she's action hero. Like
Tell me like a little bit
It's
about
just
the.
She goes
surfing
surfing in
off
Mexico.
Off Mexico.
Yeah. So she goes there. She has a
It's
very
like a private beach or something.
There's a
that
bit
she
of a dumb
finds.
plot. Yeah, she like finds a private beach. The dumb plot is doesn't tell anyone she went there.
Yeah, but people that's
People do that.
It's not unrealistic. Though.
No.
Like you think it. You think of the there was that news report ages ago. Some guy got attacked by a shark off the west coast of Australia, and at the start of the report, they've edited it together, and at the start of this interview, he's like, oh no, I think it was like near the end, and he got asked a question. He's like, no, you should never go surfing at dawn or dusk. Like that's when the sharks are out. Blah blah blah. And then it cuts back to the start of the interview, and he's like, yeah, so we're going for a surf at like sundown. It's like, well, like I'm not saying that it's your fault you got attacked by a shark, but it's just like it's funny how like people think they're in like it won't happen to them. It's it won't happen to me sort of.
I think that's what makes the shark thing scary in a film.
Yeah.
It's like sharks are scary. You don't have to do a crazy lot. Like I showed Ryan the ending of Jaws 4 when the shark like rears out of the water and roars. It's one of the funniest. Or Jaws 3D when it's literally like a PNG and it's like floating across the screen. In slow motion, and he breaks the glass, but then he stops.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's funny because the first two Jaws are like amazing.
What about Deep Blue Sea?
Hey,
Samuel Jackson.
I love that film.
Oh, dude.
It's dumb in parts.
I'm not.
It's awesome.
I'm saying it. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying that it's a bad film. I'm saying that it's much more comedic than it was shocking when it came to. I mean, spoilers.
Spoilers for Deep Blue Sea.
When it comes to he's just having a chat to what was he saying? Like,
no, he's like, we're gonna fight these sharks. We're gonna
get them, and then it's just like poof. It's like this horrible. What year was that made?
I don't know.
I don't know. Some like,
but it's like
some
it knows what it
jelly
is.
shark
It's not a horror shark film.
Yeah,
but there's
yeah,
some
yeah.
good moments in that.
For sure.
Like one of my favorite comedy and horror. The guy who, funnily enough, plays one of the leads in NCIS LA.
Yeah, right.
LL Cool J. That's his name.
Oh yeah.
He's the cook in that film. Oh, and he's got the parrot on his shoulder, and he's like knee deep in water, walking through, and like something moves. He's like, "Nope." It's like it's just
it knows what it is, and I think it's good when a movie knows what it is as well. I think that's like
self-aware movies.
Yeah, some of these.
And the sharks don't look real. And they intentionally make the sharks not look real because they're supposed to be like super cancer sharks.
Yeah, and I think
Super cancer sharks.
Ultra Shark.
But Shallows, what I was going to say is like that film, it's entirely like without Jaws, you don't get films like that. And it's still good, but it does the things wrong that Jaws does right. You see the shark a lot. You have a lot of times when it's not scary because I can see the shark, but then it does some things right where it's like, where's the shark?
Well, and then you've got, have you seen Soul Surfer?
Is that the one where she loses her arm?
Yeah, so
she's
it's
Australian?
it's the true, not Australian.
Oh.
I don't think. Oh, maybe she is. I can't remember. Maybe she is. Oh, I can't remember.
I'll look it up.
But so it's a true story.
Yeah.
And it's a surfer that loses her arm to a shark attack. But that whole scene is it's very intense because people know what the movie's about, right? And this shows like what good filmmaking is, because it didn't have a huge budget, especially for special effects and that. Didn't have a huge budget, and when it came to the actual attack, like the first scene of that movie, it's like, oh my goodness, she's gonna get attacked, like because they're all in the water, and that's what they do that intentionally to put you on edge the whole time, and that's what it's about. When you know it, like plays into the movie, knows what it is because it knows its audience knows what the story is already. So it's like what builds that tension is not the shock that there's a shark. It's the when is it gonna happen
the
sort of
suspense,
edge, and that builds and then so. Like in the first scene, there's the shot from under the water, and then it's like, oh, the shark is coming,
which is like Jaws, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
it's a trope
homage.
to Jaws. Homage to Jaws. It's like, oh, here comes the shark, but then it's not, and then you're like, oh.
Do you guys remember that scene in Jaws when it's like the guy falls off the pier fishing with his buddy?
Oh man,
and the whole pier collapses, and you see something moving through the water towards him, and it's not the shark,
dude.
But it's dun 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 dun, dun and you're like,
yeah. But then, that whole scene, man, that whole sequence, like, put me on it because it's like it's quiet. There's no music. Like they're just chilling on the dock or whatever, just like with the crickets in the background, and you just like, but you just know when in a horror movie, when there's no music, it is something horrible is going to happen.
Why do they
now.
put some terrible, like, ugly music track over a horror film and you're like, what am I supposed to feel during this?
I don't watch too much horror, but I remember watching that scene. I was even talking to you today about Jaws. It's like almost the more scary parts of Jaws when it's not like not the main characters, and it's just like it's and when you can't even see the shark. Like even when I was a kid, I was more scared of that bit when the dock turns around and starts coming. It's like trying to it's like get me out of swim. And then it just like literally just like makes a U-turn real slow and starts coming back, and you're just like, oh my goodness, it's gonna get him. Like that literally taps into my nightmares. Like stuff like that is like, I have to get away right now, and I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it.
Because like the filmmakers, it's so good. Like they knew it would be in the back of our minds, sort of like subconscious sort of stuff. Like, come on, and just to see these characters all happy and smiling.
Yeah, such and you're just like, you have no idea what's coming for you.
Like.
Well, they treat the audience as being intelligent people. You don't need to show them a fin to be like, it's a shark scene.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that's, stuff like that. When they're on the dock, you don't need to see a wide shot of them on the dock all the way down here, and then a fin just like doing at the front of the.
And they do it a few times to be like, oh yeah, by the way, we can show you a shark.
Yeah.
But what about the first scene of the film? Not a single frame of the shark in that scene, and he kills a person. It's funny about like the nightmares, because I think of...
Is that Crash Bandicoot or something?
No, that was Mario, isn't it? Anyway.
Oh yeah,
what just happened? It's funny, like hits the mark for you in like nightmare, right? Because like sharks for me bad. For me, I really like crocodile films. And it's my dirty
that
habit.
Freaks me out as well, though.
Have you guys seen Rogue?
Terrifying. No, I've never seen it. I've seen bits of it.
So it's not a very critically acclaimed film. What a surprise! It's the
Aussie film, isn't it?
It's Aussie.
Yeah.
Sam Worthington's in it.
Oh, really?
Oh. Yeah. But that film, it's like, we're never gonna get critically acclaimed. It's about a crocodile, and it's like kind of horror, kind of thriller adventure. We're never gonna do well with like awards, but we're gonna make a cool film. And for me, when you're like nightmare, I think back to that film, and I won't spoil anything, but there's a scene where they have to cross so it's set in the Northern Territory. Yeah. They have to cross the river, like walk through the river, and it's at night, and it's this like, and it's crickets, and it's water slowly moving in the background,
and that's
it's
it.
like,
and it's just nothing, and it's just
And was there music?
Tension.
Was there music?
No.
There? It was just fairly.
No. It was like, you can hear the guy breathing in front of you.
Ultra realism. Like it's just like that's what you would hear if you were there. So it really puts you into it.
It doesn't jump scare you. Like there's points where it's like,
it's the suspense,
there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Oh my god, that guy just got taken in the background.
Yeah.
Or it's like, where's Billy?
Yeah.
And you're like, what happened to Billy?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, you can only do so much with horror. Like, and I feel like with horror movies, it's just, if you're a horror, be a horror.
Be a horror.
Don't try and like, honestly, don't try and find new ways of trying to scare me or like setting it. Because we've figured it out already. We know what makes tension and like what makes it creepy, but it's like play into like use the whatever the monster is, like a crocodile or whatever, where they would be where the characters would be the most vulnerable.
Have you guys seen The Haunting of Hill House?
No.
Ooh, that's a good horror series.
Ghosty Boy?
Series.
It's a series. Yeah.
I heard that was good, but also Slender Man, the movie.
Oh, still haven't seen
it. It's not good. I saw a review and I was like,
Did you watch it though?
No, and I will at some point, just because. But I feel like
'cause
if you
horror.
release a Slender Man movie in 2018, I think is when it came out,
Yeah.
you really missed the boat on the Slender Man thing.
Yeah. Well, honestly, when was that? Was
I think it's way like 2011 or something that game came
see
out.
like what's more like I feel like with the Slender Man is like making a documentary about it.
Ooh.
Like
But don't do found footage.
no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah. Full doco.
I'm not a fan of found. I'm saying like full doco with, like, and it could be completely fake, but
Yeah.
just it's a film that is a
2012.
documentary.
Oh,
that is,
I'm gonna goosebumps thinking about
yeah,
it. Like,
it's
that's
just like because doesn't Slender take kids? Isn't that
Yeah, I
the
think
that's
whole
the
thing
thing.
of Slender? And like when that was out, we were kids, and that freaked me out.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like,
But we were
bruh.
also like avid gamers, and I feel like maybe
Yeah.
that was another thing that when you try to make a video game movie, unless you make it a movie first,
yeah,
you're not going to get many people watching it.
yeah.
But-
I know. I think
Have
you
we talked
gotta-
about Saw?
No, have
Ooh.
you seen Saw?
Oh, have you? Did you guys
I
watch
made
it?
him
We
watch
watched
Yeah,
it.
nice. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, absolutely.
I just watched
Yeah.
his face during the last like 10 minutes. That was my. I didn't even watch the screen. I just looked at his face.
Just what's he biting onto?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was- Oh, that was a really good. I
So
loved that.
good, hey.
That was.
And
He
good.
was talking about Goosebumps on another episode, and I sat him down to watch the movie, and I was like, "This is the movie that gives me goosebumps." When
Yeah.
the music starts,
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun.
Dude,
they only get better from there.
I went through a Saw phase, and I just watched them all alone at night.
Oh,
I don't know why. Like I had this weird phase in like year 8 and year 9 that I'm like, I'm gonna put myself through scary times because I'm a man, and I'd be sitting there absolutely terrified.
But then the scariest
night,
part is like
in
at
your own
night
room. Oh.
when it's like the pig mask.
Yeah, when they
Yeah.
like get abducted and stuff. That was the scariest.
That's the
part.
scariest part of the
And
song.
I'm
yeah,
like,
it's
and
by
then
far.
like I literally would have visions. Like the worst part is when you're sleeping or trying to sleep, and you've got a window next to you, and then like, and the blind's open, not closed like it is there, and the blind is open, and it's dark outside, and it's like, oh my goodness, what if a pig mask is shattered through the thing right now?
Yeah.
And like, and then it starts happening in
or the
your
pig
brain.
mask is like already in your room.
Yeah,
Behind the
and
blind.
you're like so worried about the window, you can't stop looking at it. So if I keep on looking at it, the pig mask isn't going to be there. Okay, I'm going to stop looking at it now. Boom! It's
And then you're just scared.
scary, dude.
But
Like,
the I guess what we were talking earlier about like passion versus money. Like I won't spoil anything for him or anyone watching, but there's a point in the franchise where it's like good year for Saw, bad year for Saw.
Yeah,
good year for Saw, bad year for Saw. When they went 3D,
no good.
They went 3D.
yeah, Saw 3D, and the
Ooh.
movie's actually good. But every time you see like something thrown at camera, I want to throw up. Every time.
Isn't that good?
No,
is that the
downfall
design
downfall of cinema when
Wasn't there recently the movie Spiral? Is it that had it had
I've seen it.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Chris Rock in it? Is that who it was?
Yep.
Was it good or what?
It's
Because I watched
different.
the trailer and I was like, hey man, that actually could be
It's
pretty
different.
good.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching.
Yeah, okay, cool. You know what I haven't seen still, and you'll probably hate me. I still haven't seen Get Out.
Which one was that one?
What? Isn't that like everyone's favorite horror movie? No,
I really like it.
it's the one. It's the one.
Oh,
With I can't think of his name.
he's in Black Mirror.
He's in.
Yes. No.
Yes.
Is he in
Second,
Black Mirror?
second episode.
Yeah,
I think it's the same, like the bike episode.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
black guy. Yeah, he's the
Um,
black guy.
Yeah. Who directed it? The dude from Key and Peele, Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would actually argue that I liked Us
His
more,
next one.
but I'm in the minority. I'm in the
different-
minority.
Yeah, I've
on
heard
that.
different reviews with that. Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to watch them and find out, aren't I?
It's very arty, Us, and I don't like that. But
But
there
you
was
like it.
there was parts of it where I was like, I have chills, and that's wow. Okay,
It's Us. That's all I know because I saw that in the trailer.
and the music track. Also, like I don't want to. It's not a spoiler, but the trailer's really scary, and it happens the same thing in the. By the way, Jaws. The kid's wearing a Jaws shirt in that movie. The whole movie.
really?
Yeah, he's wearing a Jaws shirt.
Yeah,
that's
but
cool.
when you look at the trailer, it's amazing, and the film, it's amazing cinematography. He's wearing a shirt about a Jaws, about a tragedy in a small town where things aren't quite as what they seem. The music track they're singing to, they're all rapping off beat, and it's intentional. Like it's Jordan Peele's do not be on track with this song.
Yeah.
And like everything that starts getting brought up, and the song has relevance
Us or
to
Get Out?
Us.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, and the guy in Us is from Black Panther. Can't think of his name. The guy that's still alive in.
I was gonna say Chadwick.
No, not Chadwick. The guy that heads the rival tribe and then joins with Wakanda.
Oh yeah.
The bigger fella.
Yeah,
Big boy.
Big boy. What a great way of describing an actor.
Big boy.
Big boy.
He's the big boy.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Anything, Ryan? You're gonna give us something. Give us some fire. Fuel for the fire.
Give us some fire.
I'm actually when you asked that question earlier, like a passion sort of thing. My mind actually went to music videos. Have you music videos are pure passion, like
Sometimes.
sometimes. Yeah.
One to drop, I'll just name drop. I'm obsessed with Lil Nas X's music videos, especially the couple new ones. Which maybe we should do a reaction to and make these two watch them.
Okay.
One of them is actually like a straight Lil Nas X acts in it. Like it's crazy. Like it's like he's a music artist. He actually is like super good in one of his music videos.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. My favorite sort of stuff is from Spike Jonze. If you've heard of him.
No.
He wrote Adaptation, or he did Adaptation with Nicolas Cage. And
Nicolas Cage.
Being John Malkovich and Where the Wild Things Are.
I know. I still haven't seen that.
It's kind of arty. You
I
probably
liked
won't-
Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh, you liked Where?
Well, I was a kid.
Oh, true.
I don't know if I'd like it now.
So the Lorax is definitely one.
Okay, so I'll retract what I said on an earlier episode. Seb doesn't like the Lorax.
I don't. Well, no.
Unfortunately.
Okay, let's say this. I haven't seen it since, and I didn't like it when I watched it. When we were in year seven? Year seven?
Year 7.
Yeah. I remember. I think I will not name any names, but I remember.
Uh-oh.
Have you had when you watch a movie or sit down? Maybe when you're a bit younger.
Yeah.
Can you sit still, or do you need a
Oh yeah.
I still do that. I still do that now.
I get
I remember,
hyperactive.
I'll tell you afterwards, but this person came to me. It was like, Ryan wouldn't stop moving his leg the whole movie, and I was
keen to get out.
And I'm like, I'm sorry.
What movie was it? Lorax?
Was it the
Yeah,
Lorax?
Lorax. Yeah. I remember. That's funny.
When you think about it, though, we kind of have to give the Lorax credit for Ryan and I starting a
for
podcast.
sticking in our memory.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Memory farm.
And then calling me out on the first 2 seconds of the first
hot
episode of
take.
podcast.
I liked The Dark Knight Rises more than I liked The Dark Knight.
Ooh,
Disgusting.
that is very controversial.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Oh my gosh! No, I think they're all great. Films.
I think they're Batman Begins is not a great film.
You said it was a good film. You said about Heath Ledger's Joker that you appreciate his performance, and I'm glad
objectively.
I'm glad that you said that, because otherwise you wouldn't be alive today.
Police?
No, but so can you unpack what were you expecting from the Joker?
I wanted more the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, but I didn't. He wasn't perfect either.
Keep in mind, Joel was 9 when this movie came out.
I've watched it 3 times since. Leave me alone. In fact, I actually watched it the other day.
I've seen that movie at least 10 times.
I think it's on a streaming service, so
Netflix.
I watched it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah.
Maybe I watched half of it. Maybe I'm a bad person. Yeah, I wanted look, and this is the subjective thing. I wanted Mark Hamill Joker. I wanted more the games Joker, the Arkham Asylum Joker.
But do you think that Joker would have fit in within the context of the film?
No.
That was? Yeah,
No,
okay.
but at the same time, the Batman in those films I don't really like either.
Oh,
But I'm not.
really?
I don't. We're not getting.
True.
We're not getting.
Well,
Please explain.
Batman's like a fairly like boring
Well-
like character in terms of like when you're in the cowl, it's like you do a lot of intense, but it's
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
not super 3-dimensional. I didn't like him as Bruce Wayne,
like yeah, the Bruce Wayne.
but
And then-
subjective, objectively, man was as Batman looking as any of the actors I've ever seen.
Wait, before we continue, we've got to do an impression of Batman real
No,
quick.
but can we get the guy that like has lived his whole life to do the impression of
No,
Batman?
I'm not gonna do it, and you dudes can do it.
No.
And then,
I'm Batman.
Oh yeah, that's it.
man, I can't compete with that.
But like, I'll justify that. Like those views that I have on that is because I see those characters in a very different way.
Is it because you just want to be different?
No. Now there are times when I'm like, you know what? I am going to vary on my opinion on this thing because of like either it's because there's like controversy behind making it. Maybe it's made by Disney, so I want to make a stance against that evil corporation.
I think that Heath Ledger's Joker is the best Joker put to film.
Ooh.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
But
I liked Joaquin Phoenix's.
oh, I love that. Honestly, well, yeah. See, they're two. It's almost like you can't compare them, but you have to because. But then, like,
I guess they're different stages of Joker, though.
well, yeah, that's true as well. Like, he hasn't really. That whole film. He's not Joker yet. Like, so it's
hard.
It's hard. Like, but honestly, I love that film so much. Like, I loved it almost as much as I love The Dark Knight. For different reasons, though. Like, I love all of the action in the.
I guess
Dark Knight and
get
stuff.
goosebumps in the what do you get when he
Yeah.
starts telling the joke, and then the joke gets like
That's
further
crazy,
and
man.
further intense, and Murray's trying to cut him off, and
Yeah,
A big moment for me was when like
I get goosebumps thinking about that. Yeah. Go on.
with the girl, and he thinks he's had this whole relationship or something.
Yeah,
with this
that's
girl.
that's.
Yeah.
Oh, and who knows, like how, like accurate that is to. Like, is that accurate? Like, Mr. Psychology over here.
To completely
realism
believe,
or like
to completely believe that you've had a relationship.
Yeah,
with
like
someone.
that you'd like make someone up in your life. I think that is like reported, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like a thing.
In Psychosis.
I think if you
yeah.
believe most of the things about the Joker, you need to believe that one.
Yeah.
Like out of all the
True,
delusion
yeah.
stuff.
True.
But it's funny. It's just a shame DC is like a 30% strike rate with its films. It's like Christian,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
the Christian Nolan. What the heck? Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
Dark Knight trilogy. That's like in the right up there.
Mm-hmm.
New Suicide Squad.
Still haven't seen that.
It's good.
Ooh, it's good.
What else do you put DC in the? Oh, Justice League, the Snyder cut of Justice League, and then everything else. Yep.
I love that description.
Oh, Joker. Sorry,
Oh,
Joker.
So was that part of like was that a standalone film? Not have anything to do, like didn't have anything
one?
to do.
What,
Joker.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like had nothing to do with the like
Because
DC
their
studios or whatever it
DCEU
is.
is actually still got Jared Leto.
Oh
as
yeah,
Joker.
Jared Leto. Yeah. I forgot about him.
He's still canon.
I raised him from.
Sorry, I got another reminder. I really should have muted that.
You need
but
to return.
thanks. Hey, I gotta return that capture card. All right, I gotta return it.
Gotta return it, dude.
Yeah, it's just it's funny when you compare like two brothers in Marvel and DC, and like one of them is like really the high achieving one, and then there's the one that's like more like dark and gothy and puts out something good every now and then.
And then, like, if it's like he's been asked to do something, he's like, oh, fine, I'll do it. Oh, whatever.
Like the lawn drying.
You like Tarantino? Did you like his new film, The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Dude, if you don't like that
I
film,
really didn't like that film.
Of course you didn't. I'm not surprised in any way that you didn't like that film.
Didn't like that.
Okay,
film.
so there was no objectivity. Like, there's objectively,
Yeah,
is it a good film?
Not
No,
even,
it's
not
not
even
objectively a good
objectively. Oh my.
Ooh.
That's a bad
I haven't
film.
seen it, but I've heard really good things about it.
You haven't seen it, Ryan?
I haven't
What are
seen
you
it.
doing with your life?
I wished I hadn't seen it. Nah.
You were like, no, you're not.
No, I'm glad I watched it.
It was.
But it's
I think it was. Yeah,
it's all right.
it was a good film.
I feel like the last 20 minutes it's just not for me.
I understand why you didn't like it. I can.
The last 20 minutes isn't for me. The rest of the film was pretty
But that is Tarantino. That's like what redeemed the film for a lot of Tarantino fans.
good, which is so disappointing
Some
for
people,
me.
some people love Tarantino because of his just unbelievable gore, and shocking gore. But like he is so much more than that. Like all of his films are so much.
That's
more
why
than
I'm
that.
not a Tarantino fan, but I felt like that wasn't a Tarantino film. Like I, of course, am going to compare it to Pulp Fiction, which is fantastic.
Oh, Pulp Fiction's insane.
So that's the hard thing when you do something really good. You're always going to get compared to the. Can we just say for a second how much good stuff Christopher Nolan has done?
Oh,
And he's like,
Oh,
he's
dude.
still going.
yeah.
Oh,
Tenet,
Tenet.
Dark Knight.
I'm a Tenet.
Was he Interstellar? Yeah.
What?
Did he do Interstellar?
Yeah.
What else is on his filmography?
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk.
I didn't
you
like
got
that.
the Inception. Yeah. Oh, get out of my life.
Didn't like Dunkirk.
Why?
1917 is better.
But they're two different. What? You
Yeah, but they're war films.
No, there's
war.
so many war films.
Yeah.
We're just gonna get into an argument real quick. Just give us 1 second. What is wrong with you?
I really wanted in Dunkirk like that moment in the sequel trilogy where
Dude,
it's like,
this-
guys, I got all the ships.
The soundtrack.
Yeah, true.
The soundtrack.
Oh,
in that
objectively
movie
was
great.
pretty good.
Yeah, objectively.
Pretty good. It wasn't for me. Wasn't for
Okay,
me.
fine.
Wasn't for me.
Don't say it's bad.
See, I don't think it's a war film. I think it's
didn't
just
say it was
about a
bad.
particular event.
I didn't say it was bad.
Okay,
I
no,
just said
I
I didn't
understand
like
what you're
it.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a catastrophe, right? It was much more like structured like a natural disaster almost.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's like human tragedy.
Yeah.
The only thing, like a lot of vets, well, not a lot of them because there's not many left from. Is it World War II?
World War II, yeah.
So there's not a lot of them left from World War II. But what I have been told, and like from children of these people that were at Dunkirk, they said that the beaches were like, you know how there's just so much death and everything, and like the depiction of the beaches, they were like clean and tidy in comparison to what it was actually like. Like there was apparently there was just bodies like you could hardly see the sand, which is just insane, man. Like it's
goodness.
and
Well,
that shows the gravity of the situation,
Yeah.
but also. Do you really want to see that? You got to find your line of like how far do you want to go with it?
Yeah.
I'm just such a war film purist. I'm like, I liked it. It was pretty good.
Favorite war film?
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Not super long, even though I haven't seen it for a while. I really liked Black Hawk Down in terms of like a
Oh
modern.
yeah, that
modern.
was awesome.
That's a good one.
Remember that? Have you seen Hacksaw Ridge?
Yes, fantastic.
Wait,
Loved
Hacksaw Ridge.
Andrew Garfield.
Desmond Doss,
Yes. Yeah.
saving all the people from the.
Yeah. That was
Uh,
really good.
American Sniper. I cried during the movie because I read the book. That's what set me up for it.
Okay. Yeah, right.
And when I'm like, and he's like, I mean, it's a true story, so it's not like I'm going to spoil it. But if you haven't seen American Sniper, like towards the end when he's like, I'm going to take that guy out on the range, I just started
And then
crying
it's
because
just-
I knew the
so-
story, and I just
Goosebumps,
Yeah.
man, straight away. It's like
that poor actor who
it's-
had to play that guy.
Yeah.
He only got like one shot,
Yeah.
but like
Oh man.
you hated forever.
Oh,
I still
it's
follow
crazy.
her, his wife on Facebook. She's still doing crazy, amazing stuff, even after all the trauma she's gone through. So
that's-
she runs like a Frogman Foundation.
Oh, I did. Sorry, speaking about war films, that's awesome that she's doing all of that. I just wanted to take a couple steps back. When you were talking about 1917 on the other podcast, right? You're talking about Corridor Crew and everything. I just would like to say that the whole film is one shot. It's hidden cuts,
But that's why it's not a one-up.
No, it's not an actual one-up.
No,
but the way
it's a
you were
perceived
talking about
one-up.
it,
One-up.
it sounded like you were saying that there was lots of really long oneers. I don't know. Maybe that's just
I mean
how
it
I
in
felt
terms
when
of
I
how
was.
it was created.
Yeah. Okay.
The film to
Yeah,
me,
right.
when I watch it, like I clearly see when they're cutting, but that's just
Yeah.
I ignore that and just go like it's
I
either
did
it's
start
amazing
counting
at
it.
times
I did
when it's
start
like
counting it.
they put a CGI character to switch two
Yeah,
shots,
yeah.
but then there's times where a guy just wipes frame and I'm like,
Yeah, and it's
I know
like,
too
okay,
much
well,
about
that's it.
cinema.
Yeah. No, yeah. I want to make that clear for everybody.
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's the whole film.
It looks
It's
like
not
the
just-
character you're watching 2 hours
You're
of
watching,
his life.
Yeah, you're watching 2 hours of this dude trying to like going across the battlefield to send a message to like some other dudes.
That film
What a
is a
synopsis.
classic.
Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy.
You have to watch it.
Yeah. I
really?
need to watch it. Yeah.
Bruh. Like, this is my thing. And this is what I've said for a while now. There is too much content in this world
100%.
to watch it all. And there's too much. There is, like, the fact that there is so much good content out there that I can't watch it all is insane. And then probably like 1 in 10 films could be considered good content.
Yeah.
Makes it really hard to find, especially if you don't know that it's good content before you watch it, and then you've got a billion things to choose from. It makes life difficult, you know. First world
I find it
problems.
hard to pick. Well, I find it hard to pick a movie because you're like, do you look at critic reviews, which I usually disagree with after I've seen the film?
Yeah, honestly.
Which critic do you listen to? Do you listen to the marketing? Do you watch the trailer? That is so
it's
could be not. By the way, before we just end on war films, I feel like so disappointed in myself that I didn't mention Enemy at the Gates when we were talking about war films.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Wait, Enemy at the Gates, remind me real quick.
It's Jude Law's a Russian sniper in
yes.
Stalingrad.
Yes, that's a really
bruh.
good one.
And the bad guy's the most like classic bad guy of all time, Ed Harris, as the Nazi sniper.
Dude, I need to watch that.
It's literally
really
like
cool.
a dogfight between two like heroes of that battle.
Fuck.
It's
really
emotional. It's like
That's crazy. I need to put
Super
that up.
tense.
We've seen Hurt Locker as well.
Yes.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
I haven't seen it either, but I've
mostly on
we
principle
studied it
because
in
I
film
hate
class.
James Cameron's wife, who like
Oh, good.
Wait, what?
yeah, like I've just
you've met her, have you, bro?
not personally.
What a bitch. Oh.
But yeah.
She was like so rude to me.
Yeah.
This
She was so
one
rude to me
time.
when she took all his money in the divorce.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you know that because you were there.
Yeah.
Well
you spoke-
reported. Anyway. And it's not like she wasn't a filmmaker before they got, but when you have some extra, dosh, you can make movies. you
Yeah,
know?
why not, bro?
Yeah. I will see it at some point. But again, it's like, there's so many classic movies. Like, it's like,
Yeah,
what are you
that's
going to
it.
do?
And I keep on meaning to make a list and go through it, and I just still haven't. There's so many movies. I'm like, oh, I need to put that on my list that
How
I
do
don't
you
have.
and then you have to curate that list.
Yeah, to be like, and then you got to choose with what you're in the mood for as well. Sometimes you can't be in the mood for for genocide or murder or psychotic
Or a
whatever.
horror film.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. It's crazy, man.
But I guess that's why we have friendships like these, because you can be like, I'm tonight going to show you X movie.
yeah. So I'm going to show
Like-
you this because you have to watch it.
Um,
And I'll be like,
yeah.
okay, bro. Yeah. So
calm
let's do
down.
that.
Calm down,
Calm down. Yeah.
I'll watch it, okay?
Yeah.
That's what Ryan did when
feel
I was
like we
like, you
should-
will watch Saw.
Yeah. I feel like we should make like movie recommendation lists for each other.
Yeah, this is literally what I was talking. I want to make one for me, and I still haven't.
I also want to, we'd love to watch some movies and review them on the channel. So that would be
Yeah,
And
we should be
leave
like-
a comment if you want us to watch a movie that we haven't
Yeah, that'd be
mentioned.
sick. We
Yeah.
come hang out and then watch a movie and then
we'll
just
just come in here.
Oh,
and
so
Turn it
do you
on
want
and
to come
chat.
around more?
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
Let's
mad.
do it.
I don't know if these friendships extend as far as these guys
Alright,
think
I
they
need
do.
a piss.
I've seen Ryan twice this week. It's too much.
Oh, it's too much Ryan for me. Yeah.
It's too little.
I've
saw-
honestly
too little
blocked out
dull
my
for
day
me.
tomorrow for
I
a
s-
non-human day.
I saw Ryan this morning, and that was
Too much. No, I'm kidding.
I was.
just enough.
I'm almost in tears.
You don't care. Don't pretend.
I'm not joking. I actually do need to go to the
Oh.
bathroom.
Well, I mean, we've got to the time anyway, so
Yay.
thanks to everyone for listening to this.
I
If
mean,
you'd like
not
to,
yay. I'm so upset that the podcast
Yeah.
is over.
if you'd like to
Alright.
see Seb and I fight with words again, please.
Let's fight with words some more,
I'll
bro.
just cheer on.
Now,
Yeah.
if you've seen the size of this guy, that's why it's with words. We
With
will
words.
only.
Yeah, that's like been the classic trope through high school. It's like, Seb, you're and I'll be like, what'd you say to me?
I've got range on you, though.
Like
I'm tall and
yeah,
lanky.
it's true.
But
You
like,
got,
but
you got,
we-
you got that length.
I can avoid, and I can jab you from afar.
Yes.
But thanks so much for watching. Leave some suggestions in the comments about if there's anything you guys want us to talk about, watch,
Put
review.
your favorite movie in the comments for Joel to shit all over, bro. That was my one
Just
word.
leave a scaling review. just full on. Yeah.
Objectively, I hated it. Do you feel personally attacked?
Yes.
Oh, man.
I've never felt as personally attacked since Ryan commented on me a couple episodes ago. I'm going to cut this out though, so it's already ended.
Oh.
Oh.
Nah, jokes. We'll see you guys
Adios.
next week. If you have a guest or someone you think we should get on the podcast,
Who
do
should
it
we
now.
talk to?
Boom,
Do
boom,
you
boom.
want to be on the podcast?
Ooh.
Slide into Joel's DMs.
Yeah, like all the other film critics do when I say bad things about their films. No, that doesn't happen. They
Yeah,
they don't care about me.
We should
I'm
get
just
Scott
going to get
Morrison on.
Tarantino on the podcast just so he can clear his name.
And so I can tell him how bad his new movie is.
Mr. Tarantino, what's your thoughts on the Lorax? Was it good or bad?
Mr. Tarantino, what are your thoughts on Joel Cooper's opinions of you? I'm heartbroken. I have to tell you, nothing has made me more upset.
What if he got on and I was just like, man, you should retire. It's been a while since Pulp Fiction.
He's got one movie left and then he's done for films.
Is that
Good.
true?
Yep.
Good. You're going to spit on his brain and everything.
I need to wee.
All right, see you,
Okay.
Tarantino fans. Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Dab.